So here we are, version 3 of
Like
baguette. They look pretty impressive. Do we get to do the sound test again?
Let's see. Oh, crunch. Okay,
Very nice.
so
So how do you feel about this one?
I feel a whole lot better about these ones.
Okay.
Everything started to come together. I'm still not
Looks great.
shaping them
That one's a
quite
low.
correctly.
I didn't share that one. It's true.
And I need to nail the temperature of the wood oven,
A little bit more. It's a
better
little-
because
yeah.
it
That's
was
okay.
a little bit hot, and that's my impatience.
Okay.
Oh, you know what this needs?
Butter?
Butter.
Okay.
Okay, so now we can taste.
I don't understand. I feel like this is an unfair taste because
What?
the last time we didn't taste it with butter.
I know, but I have a good feeling. Okay.
It's much softer.
Yeah, the texture inside is much better. It is overbaked on the outside, and that's temperature control in a wood oven, which I'll get to. This is only like the third time I've cooked anything in it, so that'll get better. But the texture of the actual bread is really nice, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
So they have to wait till we're done chewing for you to tell us how you did it? Don't worry. They're not going anywhere. They'll be okay.
Here's how I made it. This recipe started yesterday, and I made what's called a poolish, or a pre-ferment. I mixed together water, flour, and yeast, a very tiny amount of yeast, and made a really sort of loose, wet slurry. Put a cover on it, sat it on the counter, and left it for about 18 hours. On day 2, before I started making the dough, I fired up the wood oven. I built a fairly small fire. It was cold today, and I let that heat the oven up slowly over the course of the time of making the rest of the bread. Came back today and uncovered it, and you can see that it really has bubbled up. And you can see that there's a lot of activity in there. You've got the yeast that I added, but you've also got the wild yeast that was just on the flour. So it's not quite sourdough, but it's approaching sourdough. I poured in water, and then I poured that mixture into a stand mixer. It's really gooey, goopy, and sticky. Get as much out as you can. I added in flour, salt, and another little bit of yeast, and I stirred that together with a wooden spoon just to come up with a ragged ball of dough. I put that onto the stand mixer, and then I let that knead for about 4 minutes. And you can see it changes from a ragged ball to a nice, smooth, elastic dough. Turn that dough out onto the countertop. Shaped it into a ball, put it into a bowl, covered it, and left it for 45 minutes. Came back at 45 minutes and it had risen a little bit, and you just sort of grab a little piece of the dough from the outside, you bring it to the center, you turn the bowl, you grab it, you bring it to the inside, you turn the bowl, and you do that 4 to 6 times. And then you reform it into a ball, put it back in the bowl, and cover it again. "45 minutes later, you come back, you scrape it out onto your work surface, and you divide it into roughly 3 balls of dough that are about the same. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe now and smash that notification bell so you find out about our new videos as soon as they come out. Shape those into a ball, put them onto a couche. And cover them. You let those stay covered for anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes. Come back, take one of the balls, and then you flatten it out. And this is the difficult part of shaping. You fold it generally in half, and each time you fold it in half, you press down to seal it. Then you turn it around 180 degrees, and you do exactly the same motion again. Now, you put it seam side down, and you roll it into a rope or a baton or into pretty much the final shape of the baguette. Put that back on the couche and cover and let that stand for another 45 minutes to an hour. Before I did the final shaping, I checked the oven and scraped all of the coals off to one side, brushed it out, cleaned it up, and it got it ready for the baguettes. It won't double in size. You'll only get maybe an extra 50% in size, but it will look marshmallowy and puffy. Take it off the couche, put it onto your peel. Use the lame and cut 3 long cuts. I then took the peel out to the oven and launched the baguettes into the oven, and I think I did fairly well this time. Close the oven door and let that go for about 8 minutes. Then I opened the door and I turned the baguettes around just to make sure that they got even heat all the way around. When they had reached an internal temperature of about 200 degrees Fahrenheit, pulled them out of the oven and left them on the counter to cool, and one of them I sprayed with water while it was still hot. And I don't know if that spraying with water made a difference. This is the one that I sprayed with water.
So we need
But this one is still
nice and crispy.
Nice and crispy and crackly.
Okay.
That might just be something that some French bakers do because their grandfather did it. Who knows?
Although we also may not be making them to a level where you notice the difference.
That's probably
an honest answer.
Probably the case.
So, this is version 3.
Yes.
Any other changes you think you're going to make for this?
I need to work on my shaping, and I need to work on my temperature control for the oven.
The oven.
But the oven isn't as scary as I thought it was going to be. It really isn't. It's fantastic to cook with wood. I really enjoy that part of it. So there will be another version of this baguette recipe as I sort of nail it down. I think the recipe is solid. I think the amounts are solid. It's just technique at this point. So come on back and see if we can improve on our baguette.